Because one video wasn't enough to contain them, here we go with part 2. Yes, in a previous video we talked about some of the creepier things that people found under bridges. We talked about crocs and ghosts and trolls and other things, but this time we're raising the creep factor to an entirely different level. Number 1 is particularly creepy, so make sure you stay till the end. Without further ado, here are some more creepy discoveries people found under bridges. With all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Tombs and Skeletons. The London Bridge Experience is a tourist attraction in Southwark, London, England on the south bank of the River Thames. It's basically a spooky tourist attraction built in the long abandoned vaults under the London Bridge. The experience of going through the attractions is quite creepy enough, but the completed attraction is not the reason why it made it to this list, but rather the macabre discoveries that were uncovered during the attraction's construction, and the weird and spooky events experienced there by its builders. First, a little bit of a background. The London Bridge Experience is actually built inside the vaults beneath the London Bridge, which we've established earlier. What we didn't establish is what the vaults were used for originally. These vaults were originally used as a dumping ground for bodies of people who died of the Black Plague. There were also rumors that the area was once the site of an old cemetery which existed before the actual bridge was built. During the construction of the attraction, builders uncovered numerous skeletons buried beneath the concrete. Most of the skulls even had man-made holes in them. Most of these discoveries are already creepy enough, but what happened after ups the creep factor to another level. Unexplainably, tools started to disappear. At first I thought it was just a prank being pulled by one of the builders, but nobody admitted to doing it. People also had this feeling of constantly being watched while in the vaults. It was bad enough for the workers to downright refuse to go down there alone. Also, perfectly working light bulbs started to blow out for no apparent reason. Are these experiences completely paranormal, or are there perfectly rational explanations for them? Who knows. These stories may go into the London Bridge Experience more interesting though. More crocodiles! Because you can never have enough. The last time we did a list like this, we talked about a croc that was found under a bridge in Jamaica. Well, it seems like crocs worldwide seem to like hanging out under bridges. This particular bridge, this time located in Puerto Rico, has even become an unlikely tourist attraction. The bridge in question is called, not surprisingly, Crocodile Bridge. It can be found on an otherwise unremarkable stretch of road about 75 miles west of San Jose's airport and just a few miles from Carrara National Park. This crosses the Tarcoles River. Despite the cars whizzing past, dozens of onlookers are gathered along both sides of a small bridge to peer down at the brownish water below. Why is that? Why, because of the crocodiles, of course. Most days, at least a dozen American crocodiles, easily stretching to 13 feet long and weighing hundreds of pounds each, hang out under the bridge to sun themselves. The species is actually notable for its ability to walk on 4 legs and not just slither, as well as for its greenish-gray skin. Now, a mini-economy has sprung up around the bridge, with vendors selling stuffed crocs and other souvenirs to the tourists who stop for photo ops. There are also several restaurants with Cocodrillo in the name, plus a crocodile safari boat for particularly brave travelers who want to get even closer to the dangerous creatures. Most of the travelers who stopped to see the crocs in Costa Rica were taking photos from far away and doing their best not to interact with the reptiles. It may have been out of respect, but it was more than likely having to do with, pure fear, since crocodiles like the ones at Tarcoles could easily take down a human being. So far, the area has not reached a boiling point in terms of overcrowding, possibly because there are so few accommodations in the area. Tarcoles tends to serve as a place to get out and have a leg stretch and a snack rather than a final stopping point. Coffins. Under a bridge is quite a strange place to find coffins. But then again, people have been finding tombs and skeletons and frozen bodies and crocodiles and alligators and trolls. You get the idea. There's a lot of things under bridges all over the world. So who am I to say that? Anyway, a man discovered 19 coffins stuffed into a space under a bridge in a town in northern Mexico. Disturbed, he posted the photos he took on social media, where they were viewed more than 20 million times. The said bridge is located on Gustavo Baz Avenue in Mexico City, and the man who posted the photos wasn't actually the first man to find them. According to him, he was walking by the bridge when he saw a crowd of people peeping into a large hole at the base of the bridge. Curious, he waited his turn to peek into the hole, saw the coffins, took a few photos, then left. Later that day, while walking home, he saw the area already quarantined by the police, preventing anyone from having a good look inside the hole. The next day, police officials released a statement saying that the space under the bridge is being used as a storage facility and has been for years. The 16 adult coffins and 3 child coffins were donated to the city by different funeral homes for the purpose of burying unidentified people or those without the means to pay for their own coffin. They further stated that all the coffins were unused and empty. Of course, a ton of people consider this statement as complete hogwash. Excuse my language. Many people thought that the explanation that was given by the authorities was completely outlandish. Actually, it seems that the statement made the situation a lot more suspicious to some people. Add to the fact that the police never actually released any photos that clearly showed that the coffins were empty. Strangely enough, the discovery of the coffins coincided with several reports of strange disappearances in the area, again making people think whether the authorities were telling the public the whole truth. There is no mention whether the coffins were removed from under the bridge, but that huge hole was immediately covered up and repaired. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Today we're going to be talking about what quite possibly is the creepiest thing you're ever going to find under a bridge, at least. A frozen body. Today's photo shows a man seemingly trapped underwater beneath a sheet of ice, probably taken in a frozen lake somewhere. But whether or not he was found under a bridge, I can't tell just by looking at the photo. However, I'm not saying that human bodies have never been found under bridges. Take this one for example. Back in 2011, a frozen body wrapped in a blanket was found by a Webb County Public Works employee beneath a bridge in Colorado. At the time of the discovery, investigators could not immediately determine whether the body was male or female because it was frozen to the blanket, but it appeared to be an adult. Later, the body was identified to be that of a 23-year-old Adrian Tavera Avalos. The case was being investigated as a homicide, but has long since turned cold. No pun intended. Another frozen body was found, this time in 2017 in North Dakota, encased in ice under a pier of the railroad bridge, and was later identified as 31-year-old Donald James Campbell. Police were able to identify Campbell first with personal effects that were discovered in the victim's possession. According to what little information they had at the time, they couldn't determine when Campbell ended up there, or what exactly happened to him, although they did say that there wasn't any sign of foul play. The case still remains a mystery to this very day. Many bodies have been found under bridges, too many in fact to mention here. But no matter how common this occurrence is, it doesn't make every single case any less creepy. Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually subscribed. Come on guys, what's up with that? Can you guys please hit the subscribe button? You guys watch my videos every day anyway, so you might as well subscribe and keep up to date with every video we put out. Blood. The San Juanico Bridge is currently the longest bridge in the Philippines, connecting the provinces of Samar and Leyte. Reportedly a gift of former President Ferdinand Marcos to his wife Imelda, the construction of the bridge is surrounded by macabre rumors. Rumor has it that during the construction of the bridge, then First Lady Imelda Marcos consulted a soothsayer who had very bad premonitions about the bridge. She said that the bridge will catastrophically fail and will claim hundreds of lives. And let's see, the only way to prevent that from happening was, to pour the blood of children into its foundations. Awfully Prince of Egypt, but hey, if it works. The bridge still stands today, but did this macabre ritual actually happen? In the Philippines, especially in the rural areas, the practice of blood sacrifice, locally known as padugo, is actually a pretty normal thing. It is a ritual done to bless the site and the structure at the very early stage of construction. Using the blood of a goat, for example, is believed to drive away bad spirits which could be lurking in the construction site. In some instances, the blood of a chicken or a pig is used in the belief it will help prevent accidents while a project is being undertaken. But in the case of the San Juanico Bridge, why is it that the blood of children was reportedly used? Reports say that during the initial stage of the bridge's construction, a lot of children were reported missing, never to be found again. But then again, rumors like these often spread every time a major construction project is happening. Such stories were used by parents to scare children back in the old days, saying the sipay, a person who kidnapped children who misbehaved or did not obey rules and instructions, would take them if they would stay out too long playing with friends. Needless to say, everything you've heard so far are unsubstantiated rumors. But that doesn't stop it from being an intriguing story. Did any of these discoveries creep you out? Let us know in the comment section down below. Want to watch more amazing discoveries? Click on any of the videos you see on your screen. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody.